I'm Mr. Purdue, and this is Fairfield Union at Home.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me too.
How's it going, Fairfield Union? Mr. Purdue here. I've been talking to Mr. Alfred and Mr. Scott about what can we do to keep it light during such a serious time. And we've all kind of been watching the Jimmy Fallon at Home. And if none of you have seen it, you should watch it. It's basically the Tonight Show, but from his living room. So we want to do it, but the Fairfield Union spin on it. What do we want to have in each show? We want to have an in-depth look at teachers that maybe you wouldn't have normally gotten at school. And then we want to do a senior spotlight for each episode, a boy and a girl. But where we're going to start is with Mr. Scott this week. How's it going, Mr. Scott?
Going well. How are you doing?
Doing awesome. Who are we talking with today?
Well, this is my wife, Kelly. This is my oldest daughter, Anna. And this is my youngest daughter, Lily.
Awesome. So for those of you that didn't see, we posted on Twitter and wanted to know what you guys needed to hear from Mr. Scott that wasn't generic hallway material. Miss Wilson wants to know, this is for Kelly, does he ever do anything that embarrasses you?
Yes, all the time. He, first of all, in public, he talks really loud like this. Can you guys vouch? And it's really embarrassing. And he has this sound that he makes. Sounds like this. Do it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Girls. No. Oh! If you're in some place in public and he's not with you, but he wants to find you, he just does that really loud until you come to him. That's it. Girls, you know it.
Does he embarrass you, girls?
What?
Anna and Lily, does he embarrass you?
Yes, all the time.
All the time.
What did he do?
All right, Hannah Burnside wants to know, does he actually own pants or just shorts? Because he wears shorts even in the dead of winter.
He owns a couple pairs of pants, but he never wears them unless we make him. He even shovels snow in shorts, and that is another thing that embarrasses us. He also has pants that he's had since probably high school, and there's no way he's ever going to fit in them, but he still tries.
It's like your goal pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He weighed, what did you weigh in high school? Maybe 125?
Probably
I
125.
think you can get rid of them.
That was me in like fifth grade.
140 now.
There you go.
Girls, what kind of dad is he?
He's a pretty cool dad most of the time, but then, he thinks he's a little more cool than he is sometimes. He's hardworking, I would say, but he never likes to win.
We have a visitor.
We do. Hey!
Hey!
Hey, Deke!
Hey!
Or Mr. Scott! Hey, Mr. Scott!
Hey, this is
How are
Mr. Scott's brother. His much cooler, better looking, younger looking brother.
Amen to that. What he said.
Hey,
Hi, girls.
Jeremy, I got a question for you. So
Sure.
Scott always tells me and the kids constantly how good he was at sports. And I don't know how many times I've heard him talk about him scoring 7 goals against Maysville. Was he good at sports?
No, Maysville stunk. I played in that game and I scored. So they weren't a good team.
Oh, well, that explains it.
He was all right. He was a decent athlete.
Yeah.
Couldn't
have
even
any
hold a candle to me.
stories? Do you have any?
Do I have any what?
Any
Embarrassing stories?
Yes.
Oh, I've got a lot of embarrassing stories, but
PG.
I assume this is PG. So, let me see. There was one time in college, we Deke and our other roommate Brian went to Panama City for spring break, and Deke liked to wear a short bathing suit and liked to cover himself in tanning oil. And so he was laying on the beach, and Brian and I, he was asleep. Brian and I decided that we would throw Cheez-Its on him so that the Cheez-Its stuck to the oil on him. All the seagulls came down and was picking the Cheez-Its off of him. Actually, no, wait.
Right.
Deke
right.
and Brian did that to me.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that's the kind of brother I have. He would throw Cheez-Its on his brother so that the seagulls would eat them off him. You know, I don't know, Deke or Mr. Scott used to actually have hair. He actually used to have a lot of hair, if you can believe it. But when he was in grade school, he thought it would be a cool idea. Back then, you know, we used to have mullets, the long hair in the back. You know, what is that? Business in the front, party in the back. I think that's what they say. But he thought it would be a good idea to have a perm put in his hair. So he had curls from like here to here, but not up here. It was straight up here. So,
We're a little
those
bit
are-
chaotic.
Yeah.
yeah. So those are some of the funny things that Mr. Scott. I mean, I got a lot of stories, but when it'd have to be, yeah, it'd have to be done at a different time and with different people.
I can tell you a story about Deke, or Mr. Scott, I'm sorry, and his brother Jeremy and their friend. They have two friends. When they were in college, they had a rule. Yes, students, wait for this one. They had a rule when they woke up. They took a vote out of 4 of them. If one of them didn't want to go to class that day in college, then none of them went. There were classes where Mr. Scott went to get the syllabus the first day and to take the exam at the last day, and that was it.
I wish I could criticize you for that, but
That's a true story. But
That is definitely a true story.
I mean, it wasn't fair that one of us went to that class when the other 3 didn't go. So it was by all rights, it was fair enough that everybody just went back to bed.
Yeah. Well, at some point, you should ask Mr. Scott how long it took him to get through undergrad.
Yeah. What's the saying? I should be a doctor.
You should be a doctor. maybe that wasn't the smartest thing to do.
If you weren't on the 6-year plan, we would have never met.
It's a true story.
okay, which leads me to our next question. Why Mr. Scott? Why did you settle for Mr. Scott?
Because we went to a Christian liberal arts school. There was no one else for Mrs. Scott to pick.
Right, I had these 2, and I took the lesser of 2 evils.
I thought you were going to say the smarter one, but
Actually, the first night we met, he was at my friend's dorm room trying to borrow her homework because that's what he did. And
I missed class. I needed the notes.
he didn't go to class. They took a vote and they had to stay in bed that day, I guess. But we ended up playing euchre. And as you all probably know, Mr. Scott's extremely competitive. And we were cheating together as partners. And he told me that's how he knew I was the one.
Yeah.
Hey, that honestly explains gym class because he makes up rules as he goes to beat kids.
Oh, I believe it.
well, as his younger brother, I can attest, I never won anything.
You did win that one race, remember? We had a race
I did,
out on the
and I ran backwards.
Yep, because Deke They made me go out into the street, and we literally had a sprint race, and I had to like do the whole arms. Jeremy won. Andy did run backwards at the end.
So it's kind of like Mr. Alfred and Jaren.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, I appreciate it. It was nice talking to you. Thanks for doing this for the show.
Yep. Good seeing you.
Yep.
Thanks. See ya.
Yeah.
All right. Hey guys, this is our first senior spotlight, and our first one's up. We have Reagan Conrad.
Hi.
And unfortunately, Sam Bernard.
Hello.
So we're gonna start off like, how's quarantine going? What are you guys doing to pass the time?
I go on a lot of family walks with my dog.
How about you, Sam?
My mom does make us go on walks like a lot. Some family game nights, those are always a blast too. So a lot of euchre.
Do you lose a lot?
All the time. Almost
Do you
every time.
lose all the time? Yeah, I can see that.
That's what I do best.
So obviously with seniors, you guys, if we don't go back, or if we only get a little bit of school left, what are your guys' plans for the fall? Let's start with Reagan.
Okay, I'm gonna be in the Biological Scholars Program at Ohio State, and I'll major in biology.
Best school in the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sam, did anybody accept you?
I haven't. I got some applications to fill out first before they can accept me. So I should probably get on that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. Wait for the last second. What are you planning on?
Nursing right now is the only thing that's like set in stone. I don't know where I'm heading yet.
Good. Right on. All right. So looking back on your time at Fairfield Union, what makes Fairfield Union so special? When you go to college and people are like, I've never heard of that place, especially you, Reagan, in Ohio State, there's going to be like 4 people who've heard of it.
Yeah.
What are you going to tell them? What makes it so special?
Reagan, you got this one.
Okay. It's just like a really close-knit community, I guess. Everybody knows everybody, so that's nice. Yeah. That's what I would say.
I would agree with that.
All right. And then what's your... No, go ahead.
What were you saying? That might...
I was going to say, what's your favorite memory? What's your favorite memory?
Reagan, you got this one.
Okay, my favorite memory was when Sam dressed up as a girl in a dress and a wig and jumped in a pond. There's no context, it's just that.
Could we have some context to that, please?
No.
Okay.
All right, Sam, how about you?
Favorite memory? Probably our team camps from soccer, like going to Malone and stuff like that. It was always a good time, especially Blake Bennett. You caught him in the elevator saying some questionable things and making him do like 200 push-ups. That was a good time.
Probably deserved. Blake Bennett deserved.
Definitely deserved.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it was awesome talking to you. Thanks for joining in. Hopefully we get to see you again this year. If not, we'll talk to you. And Reagan, welcome to the Buckeye family.
Thank you.
All right, I'll see you guys.
Yeah, see you.
Bye.
Hey everyone, Mr. Albert here with your binge watch list. Miss Wilson tweeted in, said she's watching Friends, Frasier, and the Andy Griffith Show. Sarah Thompson tweeted in saying Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Superstore, all good shows. Hannah Burnside tweeted in, said Stranger Things. And on my personal watch list lately, or my recommendations, are The Office, can't go wrong. Star Wars, if you have Disney Plus, you can watch all of them. Lego Masters, been watching that on Hulu, and a lot of Bubble Guppies with my daughter. She's a big fan of it.